Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for joining us. And we're literally 5 days away from our upcoming elections. And we've been speaking to various political parties over the last months. And today we've decided to invite from the Jama-ah Political Party, Professor Muhammad Haron into studio. Assalamu alaikum, Prof.
Thanks for the opportunity.
My absolute pleasure. I know it's a busy time for you as well, that it's a couple of days away.
Indeed.
Can you believe it? We're finally here. But I thought let's do a bit of a catch-up. And I believe you're the Western Cape candidate to run for Premier.
So
Inshallah.
I have been informed, yeah.
Okay, so coming up, with a campaign like this, there must be so much going on. Give us an update. What's been happening for the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think there have been lots of activities for the party, by the party, in terms of rallies, in terms of meeting, in terms of debate. So, of course, we have different individuals who represent us at these debates. So it has been somewhat drooling, so to speak. In other cases, it was not that sort of intense. Nonetheless, I think everybody's trying to gear up, and I think our party has been working pretty hard with whomsoever they can to basically see that we sort of reach that post. So hoping to get the necessary numbers, hope to get the necessary support. Of course, as you and I know, and we all know, all along the way, there are challenges.
Of course.
Others basically critiquing us. So we need to put up our defenses in whichever way we can, as best we can. Then others basically supporting us and giving us that sort of necessary confidence that we are on the way and we can make it.
Of course.
So, yeah.
When it comes to the voting this year, it's a very special one. We've got 3 ballots, 3 papers
Indeed.
that we need to put our X on.
Right.
Would you like to take us through that?
Well, basically, the voter education, of course, system has changed as a result of that. I mean, previously I only had 2. Now all of a sudden we have 3. And so as a result of that, many people have been a bit confused, partly because they have not been informed. But our party tried to do their best to, via WhatsApp, via social media, basically to assist them. But what is also a concern is that our overseas supporters, and of course it happens with all other parties who have been supported by individuals who are abroad from South Africa, that they could only fill in the national one and not the other 2.
Oh, wow.
And so as a result of that, some are already putting in the complaints to IC, saying that they have been shortchanged. And so this is a bit unfair, partly because they're still South Africans. They haven't sort of aborted their identity, unless, of course, those who basically replace it with other identity. But be that as it may, I think that in itself will impact upon the ultimate result. So I'm not certain, of course, we can't talk about now. At this point, it is the 3 ballots for South Africans who are within its borders.
I see. Okay. Very interesting. And I watched a video the other day from somebody that posted in the UK. The lines were amazing. People were there. There was a 4 to 6 hour waiting period to vote.
Correct.
And I think that's exceptional. And I think this elections, maybe we've got a better turnout. Last elections was a bit weak.
Correct.
And inshallah, this one will be much better as well. If you look at Jama-ah as a political party, what are your key focuses or focus? What do you advocate that your party could do different, could do better, could make a change?
Well, of course, I think broadly we would like to see social reform, but reform at different levels, in economic sector, in the political sector, in the social cultural sector. In other words, we are affected in different ways, partly because of the inequality that exists. So we ask the question, okay, if there's that inequality, how do we tackle those? So, of course, one has to have concrete responses to those in terms of tangibles, because after all, people, we all talk pie in the sky, so to speak. We all want to reach there. We all want to empower. But I think we have had to take a sort of steps back and say, how can we do so? So in other words, we'll have to target specific areas as a way forward. For example, education itself is a critical one that I'm passionately more about, have been involved for sort of many decades. And of course, feeling that if we can get that one right, others will hopefully follow suit. But again, you have to educate non-neoliberal ideas. In other words, you have to break down the neoliberal project that has affected us in a very deep way. And I think as a political party, we see this as one of our major challenges. Whether we will get it right within the first year or 2, if we should co-govern, for example, that in itself. But of course, we have to work with the national government, that not necessarily in the Western Cape, but national government, broadly speaking, and they will have to also lead the way wherever they will be, if I may put it that way.
You've got a very interesting event happening this weekend, and I thought that's the reason I'd invite you guys in to speak about that as well. Tell our audience a bit more.
Yeah, basically we have, of course, motorcades tomorrow, Saturday, but on Sunday we have a rally at in Surrey Estate, where we found that we needed to bring all our sort of various support groups together. So we asked our party list members to gather as many people as they can, 20 at least, and then hopefully bring everybody to with the idea that they are there to support us, support our candidates, support us as a party, and of course with the instilling in the necessary confidence that we need from them, in other words, to basically move on and hopefully look forward to the day of the elections with positive results, not sort of mediocre ones.
Right.
But this is a challenge. This is still sort of we of course hope that we will do that sort of other change people's minds on that day. But let's see what happens.
Okay. And the details of Sunday, what's planned?
Well, details, there are a few speeches. We're not lengthy ones, but the idea was to basically give short ones on different issues, such as the Muslim marriage bill, which the party was very much involved in,
of course,
as well as talking about other sort of developments across party lines, or of course in other provinces, and more so to listen to the Premier's presentation in terms of how he would view things and see things post-election, and more so being guided by our mentor, our leader, Honorable Hanif Hendrik.
Okay. Should be interesting. What time are we looking at starting and ending?
Well, we're starting at 2,
okay,
but we're having sort of that time other activities, of course, knowing it's Dhuhr and people are busy at Sunday, but nonetheless hoping to attract as many as we can and end by 5.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a long drawn thing, but the idea is just to gather our members and supporters so that we at least have the necessary understanding that we have the support that we have been sort of targeting.
You're quite visible throughout South Africa, many, the major cities.
Correct.
What should our audience consider when going to the polls on Wednesday?
Well, we would like them to consider putting the X next to our Jama-ah. The gym is a unique one, because if you look at all the other logos, there's no gym, in theirs, or no other character except this gym that stands out. And I think even somebody who comes from outside the Muslim community will be able to recognize it almost immediately. It's at the lower end of the ballot paper, or more towards the end as such. So we hope that whoever goes will look not at the top, but go straight to the bottom.
But why should our audience vote for you? I mean,
well, I think we hold on to sort of humanitarian values of sort of honesty and accountability and responsibility, and we feel that people should not look at individuals, because individuals do not make up the party. It is the party itself and its values. And so if they sort of come forward to basically do so, we will help them, of course, and we basically should be taken to account as public figures, public office. After all, it is not your party as such, it is our party, and the communities need delivery, need services, and I think we see ourselves being able to deliver as best as we can, and we've proven that in the past. We are sure that we can do that in the future.
Alhamdulillah. Professor Muhammad Haron, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. All the very best with your event on Sunday and in the next couple of days leading up to elections as well.
Tashakkur, much appreciated.
And that's how we end Hilaal Live. We're back for a very special Hilaal Live tomorrow, directly from the City Hall for the Fusion Inyameko Nasheed competition. It's the 10th annual primary school Nasheed competition. We're bringing that live to you tomorrow night and Saturday night. It's the girls tomorrow and it's the boys on Saturday, inshallah. So do join us wherever you are in the world. Pass the message and watch our youngsters take center stage tomorrow night and Saturday. From the Cape Town team, Sohail Barnes and myself, Luqmaan Shadrach, Have a wonderful evening. Assalamu alaikum.